Hello friends and welcome to Figure Study, where we appreciate the form in Transformers. And today we are going to slap a whole bunch of Sentai mechs together and get a really glorious mess. Yep, we are going to be looking at Daikai Shinken-Oh with a special appearance by Eco Origami a little later. I thought about doing a combination of these guys in one of the other videos, but I figured it could be its own thing, really. Because why not? I've got things to say. Anyway, let's get Eco Origami out of here for now. We will come back to that later. And we are left with Daikai-Oh and Shinken-Oh. And getting them combined up is an interesting ordeal. So, just going to do a quick size comparison reminder. So here we have a Titans Return Deluxe and Samus. And there you can see how big these fellows are compared to them. And you're going to get to see just how much bigger they get once they are combined up. And oh, this is going to be a thing, so let's get started. Okay, and here we have Daikai Shinken-Oh in just sort of a basic sense. Now, there are lots of different things that are recommended to do with these lobster swords. Mostly, I believe the official instructions have you attach them to the to yellow and pink in the back here, where you just have these out, basically. You just like have pink folded out like that, and you have the fist and yellow out, and you just fold up and attach the swords like that, which is fine. I mean, it functions, but I don't much care for it. However, there are other things you can do. I like other things. So now I understand that this is more meant for the final combination, but this is my toy. I don't care. So I'm just going to take this and reattach it to the little leg bits back here. Come on, clip in. There you go. And do the same here. And yes, I totally know that this is not the official transformation for Daikai Shinken-Oh, but I don't care. And honestly, I kind of like the giant, funky-looking headdress. And then you still have Shinken-Oh's weapons, which you can actually give him if you want. And let's see, before I start getting into Eco Origami, move him back there so you can still see most of him. And just to show you how much bigger this dude gets, There we have Samus. And a Titan's Return Deluxe. he gets a fair bit taller as Daikai Shinken-Oh, just a fair bit. Yeah. So before I start getting too much into the unofficial mode stuff, like adding Eco Origami and whatnot, just want to say that this combination is weird and completely just absurd, and I really like it. It's strange. Like, I can totally get the criticism that I hear from some people where the entire top half of Shinken-Oh, like the torso, the arms, it's all gone, and it just looks like a reconfigured Daikai-Oh wearing Shinken-Oh boots. Totally get that criticism, and yeah, I do think it's a shame that it doesn't incorporate things a little differently. And I did try mixing things up by pulling off Daikai-Oh's arms and putting Shinken-Oh's arms on instead to just see about mixing it up. Unfortunately, they don't fit. Like, I can kind of get the arms on, but it's way too tight and nothing really clips in, and I feel like if I force it too much I might break something, so I don't want to push it. So unfortunately, I can't really do anything to get switch the arms around, which is a shame. And just even ignoring the silver bits that I just slapped on there, because I think the funky headdress on top it's weird, but I kind of like it. It's completely over the top ornate, but I do like it. Now, in terms of that face, I do like that face. It's... whoa. Okay. Too many cables around here. That face is pretty nice. I mean, it's flat. It is super flat. Like, there's some sculpting in there, but like, I mean, you saw it during the transformation. The face is just a panel that flips down. But it does look good, and it looks, it's larger. It works in that regard. Like, it's not just, oh, we tried to slap a really big hat on top of the same old mech head, which now looks super duper tiny. The face is actually noticeably larger, which I think works better in scale with everything else. But I do like the red and silver that they got going on there, the slightly remolded bits, like the red stripes coming in from the side there, and just, it looks good. I even like the nice gold hat crest design, helmet crest, whatever. He's a ridiculous but good-looking combination. Yeah. And then I've messed around with all kinds of weird bits, adding stuff here and there. I think the easiest thing, though, is just to give him Daikai-Oh's weapons, or I'm sorry, Shinken-Oh's weapons. So take the shield, flip out the little handle there, and just put that in his hand. And that works. I think that works. Now for Eco Origami stuff, all of that is going to go on his back, which is probably a good thing, because he does kind of have a tendency to lean forward a bit. So, for funsies, let's slap on a squid. That did not sound right. So, what I've found works is just opening up pink there, because we're going to need that for the top of the squid, which is just going to peg in there like it normally does. It doesn't really serve any function other than just being a place for the thing to store, but it's a place you can put it. And now when it comes to the other stuff, the extra set of top tentacles and the bottom set, what works for me is folding up all of these bits. There we go. So it makes kind of like a little grabby thing. And then taking this and folding everything up. And then also what I do is curl these back, which this is for transformation into the blaster mode, but I don't care because it's my toy. And this, since the peg is slightly higher up here and you've got less junk in the way here, this works really well to peg with this bit kind of facing front. Does it actually fit? I wonder. No, it doesn't quite fit because of this stuff that's in the way. So if you have it oriented this way, you can peg it down so that the tentacles are attached to the back there. And then you can take these bits and peg them onto the underside there. And it just gives you this like funky mass of tentacles that doesn't actually accomplish anything. But if we turn them around, and just turning him around partially, you can see that by adding all this stuff on the back, that actually keeps him balanced a bit better. So he is not leaning forward anymore. The only downside to that is he is now significantly heavier. And it does concern me a little bit about whether or not green and blue are going to be able to hold up to all that weight. But yeah, it's it's really dumb, but I still like it and it works. And when you've got all that other stuff going on up around the head there, the squid tentacles can either be completely lost, so you don't even notice that they're there, or they add to the whole sea creatures motif. So it's win-win, really. But yeah, this is just this is absurd. I do wish Eco Origami could peg in a couple of other places, because as it is, this is just kind of like, you know, like, it's slapdash. You don't really notice it most of the time. I wish that, you know, if I could have put Shinken-Oh's arms in place of Daikai-Oh's arms, then I could have put the squid there, and it would have looked a little, not better, but at least been more integrated. But regardless, that's my own weird, goofy, ridiculous interpretation of Daikai Shinken-Oh. And with the squid tentacles, you can attach them facing the other way with the up tentacles pointing down, because he's got two of the same kind of ports on both sides. So, you know, if you wanted to do it yourself, whatever floats your boat. I mean, heck, if you wanted to, you could actually put them here in place of the tail. You know, it's one of the things I really like about all of these figures in total, is that there's so much modularity to them that you've got a lot of little things you can play around with to try and come up with your own combinations. I actually had a fair bit of fun before messing around with the the discs, where I actually like I popped this off, and you can actually take Daikai-Oh's face disc out. So I popped this off, put it in one of the claw shoulders here, which it does actually attach, and then had the Daikai-Oh faces on for the shield, because why not? And it looked completely stupid, but I absolutely enjoyed the fact that I had this just really stupid looking combination, like even goofier than the default. Yeah, I mean, again, I do totally get the criticisms that it's just Shinken-Oh boots. And it is. I mean, I like the fact that like you got a little bit of that color in there, but yeah, I mean, it's all gold and blue from Daikai-Oh. There's no more Shinken-Oh in there, which is a shame. I kind of like these though, the little side skirt things. But yeah, it's a fun combination that could have been a little bit, could have integrated the other modes or other mechs a bit better, but overall, as just its own thing, I find it very enjoyable. And with all the squid bits attached, alarmingly heavy. But anyway, that's enough of that. So, that has been my look at Daikai Shinken-Oh and also whatever the heck you may want to call this monstrosity. Thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art, if you want to call it that, is more than meets the eye.